This is a pretty critical moment for XRP. According to tons of chart analysts, we're at a decision point where, either in the short term, we're either going to have a big move down or we're going to have a big move up. And it's anyone's guess as to which we're going to see, but something, this is broadly accepted by tons of analysts I follow, something is going to be happening soon. And I'm going to share with you perspective from 8 different XRP chart analysts, who including one who says, what we're going through right now actually has a lot of historical context, which is important. Looks a lot like 2017, which obviously had a crazy XRP bull run, and he's expecting to break out to $16.50. XRP is $2.06. Bitcoin's at 91,265 bucks. But before I recorded, we did see a little bit of a dip here, as low as $2.04. That is the exact level that a number of analysts that I've been highlighting over the last day or two have been talking about. I've shared that. I mean, I literally talked about it just yesterday. So hopefully the analysts that think that could reasonably be a bottom, hopefully that ends up being the case. But we'll see. Good news is, even the analysts that think there's a pretty reasonable chance we're going to go a fair bit lower, along with the rest of the market, none of them believe that will somehow break the chart structure and now we have to go into bear territory for some prolonged period of time. Just as the case, the crypto's volatile. It's normal stuff. I gotta take the good with the bad, but we're going to keep trending up over time. I wanted to briefly mention this since it's kind of fascinating, and this particular human on your screen right now, well, let's just say he's got an impact, a big impact on what happens to the economy and finance, broadly speaking, which means our crypto wealth. Look at this headline. This is out of nowhere. This broke tonight. It's from CNN. Federal prosecutors opened criminal investigation into the Fed and Jerome Powell. Whew. Well, I'll tell you what, I did not have that headline on my 2026 bingo card. Here you go. Federal prosecutors have opened a criminal investigation into the Federal Reserve's $2.5 billion renovation of its headquarters in Washington, D.C. In an extraordinary video posted by Powell on Sunday night, he called the investigation pretext, resulting from his ongoing struggle with the administration over interest rates, saying it was a consequence of broader threats and ongoing pressure by the administration. Okay, well, I'm not surprised that he's making the claim. I don't know what's true, what's not, so I'm not going to make a claim on this. I just thought I'd mention this because it just broke tonight, and it's fascinating. But yeah, I mean, I'm not at all surprised that, given the seriousness of this, that Powell's going to argue that it is not true and that it's BS and it's just Trump bullying him because of the disagreement as it pertains to the federal funds rate. Take a look at this. Monero going ballistic, up 23% just about over the last 24 hours, up almost 40% over the last week. I just got to ask you, is this something that happens in bear markets? Is this a bear market activity when you see individual coins like this pop off? Not usually is the answer. I mean, you can't. I'm not saying you can never find instances where there's individual coins popping off like this. Not usually, though. I thought it was fascinating to see this, though. We're not in a bear market, though, folks. Here's a post from Satoshi Flipper, which I actually reposted. I think this is pretty fantastic here. But he wrote, most bears and 4-year cyclers today are actually quite clueless about how Bitcoin unwinds after a bull market blow-off top. Let me explain why. Historically, within the first 3 months of a blow-off top, which ends a bull market and starts a new bear market, Bitcoin price is typically down 50 to 75%. Within 6 months of the blow-off top, we're close to the new bear market bottom, but not quite there yet. And within 12 months after the blow-off top, the new bear market bottom is in. Now, if we were in a traditional bear market, Bitcoin would be trading at minimum at least $65,000, but it's obviously not. We're above $90,000 and down only 30% off the all-time high, which 4-year cyclers keep trying to convince people was the blow-off top. Any way you look at it, the current Bitcoin price action has all the traditional hallmarks of a simple recovery, post-correction during a bull market. The current price action resembles nothing of a traditional bear market, and 4-year cyclers have lied to you for months now. Yeah, and so that's in line with what I've been arguing. This is basically, it's just a mid-cycle correction. This is very normal stuff, going down 30%. This is very, very historically normal. But the behaviors that you see in traditional bear markets in crypto and with Bitcoin, you are not seeing those things. I don't care what the chart guys say. It's just not the case. You'd have to believe this time is different, and you'd have to believe global liquidity doesn't matter. You'd have to believe that debt refinancing, rolling debt, none of that matters for the first time in history. It just doesn't matter. We're in a bear market because of reasons. And so that's why I'm going to keep guessing here that the, if these bears are, and as time passes, are proven to be incorrect and the market just does go higher in 2026, they're going to make all sorts of excuses up. They're going to claim that it was a bear market. It's just more shallow than normal. Even though obviously none of the cycle top indicators have triggered to this point, they're going to come up with every excuse you can possibly imagine if they're wrong. That would be my expectation. It just does not make sense to believe that this is an actual bear market. It's not behaving like it. It's been months now. Why is Bitcoin down? Why is XRP down? We had a black swan event on October 10th. That's why. This is not exactly rocket science. And look at this headline. BlackRock adds $900 million in Bitcoin as Bitcoin long-term selling falls to 2017 lows. Okay, so the selling's falling to 2017 lows, and we're above $90,000 and Bitcoin leads the market. But this is a bear market. So that's it. Not a bunch of intense selling right now, but because reasons we're above $90,000. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not convinced. Here's a post from chart analyst Nick, Crypto Crusader. Said, just to update this Bitcoin chart, per chart setup, since it's been a bit of time now. We attempted to break out above $94,400, which is the last level to break before we push to $100,000 plus. Relative strength index bullish divergence played out, just like the bottom back in April. MACD bullish momentum is also picking up, but we need to see continuation with no cool-off. If can break above $94,400, I'm expecting a retest of $106,000. Break that, and we most likely begin the next wave. This setup is happening while the current events are playing out. Timeline is overly bearish, that's for damn sure. Everybody's capitulated. Everybody's capitulated, folks. I'm telling you. I says crypto Twitter demise is now trending after engagement has fallen off across the entire market. Oh, that's for sure, obviously. You could even talk about YouTube. This is a thing so I've got some insight on this because I'm running a channel. My views, and this is true for any crypto channel, they mirror what's happening in crypto. So at times of excitement, views go up substantially, engagement goes up, all that stuff. And then at times where it's down, you get the inverse of that, unfortunately. That's just the way that it is. And my channel, along with everybody else's in crypto, is way down compared to the peak. So if you're listening right now in January 2026, congratulations. I admire you because you have strong interest in crypto. It's very genuine if you're listening in January 2026 because it is dead out there, okay? I mean, the bear sentiment is ever present, and it's very obvious. And few people are interested in crypto. Now, I'm hyper interested, so I love tracking this stuff every single day. I still have a fun, even when there's not interest here. So I'm just saying, it's very popular to be bearish right now. It doesn't mean we're in a bear market, but yeah, the sentiment's trash right now. I just can't imagine. Because there are some analysts that are still arguing that not everybody's capitulated. And I'm like, what world are you living on? If you're arguing that we're still waiting for the rest of the people to capitulate, what world are you actually living on? That doesn't make any damn sense. Anyway, then he says retail participation at all-time lows as Google Trends shows a complete wipeout of crypto attention. These are typically not signs you see at the top. These are signs you see at the bottom. Looking at the Bitcoin setup along with the environment, I would argue that we are about to see this space show why it pays to be bullish in a herd of bears. Spot on. And that's why I always just make sure that I have exposure to the market regardless. I just don't do anything. It's the least sophisticated investment strategy there could possibly be, and it freaking works. I buy stuff, and then I do nothing, no matter what, period. Unless or until one day I'm finally enticed to sell because price goes up so much. Here's a post from chart analyst Dom, XRP. He says, we saw a nice 20% move last week that was quickly sold off. This was due to an overall weak move where little money took advantage of thin liquidity without any chasing support. This $2.10 support has been respected for many months and is really the last chance to keep this impulse meaningful. And he posted that this morning, by the way, so obviously we've come down a little bit, but like I said, many analysts were expecting that. He says that at the same time, any moves up to $2.40, he says 240, so that region, provide no meaningful structure shift. Above that, and we can start getting excited. So he does see a potential path forward at a minimum. Here's a post from Chartner just from this afternoon, 3:52 p.m. He says, XRP, we got the confirmation by closing below triangle support and have now pushed down towards the lower $2 region. I expect bullish relief to occur in this territory. Okay, so the fact that we've gone lower just a short bit before I started recording is not something that structurally breaks anything in his estimation. He's expecting that we're likely to see support here, so hopefully by the time you're watching this, we haven't dipped way lower. Here's a post from chart analyst Gordon. He shared this with his 843,000 followers on X. Got an XRP price chart here, and he says, insane returns are coming for those who act. Those who wait for confirmation will be the ones we sell to. Yeah, so that's spot on. This goes back to what I just said a second ago. Either you have exposure when the market goes or you don't. At some unknown point in the future, XRP is going to go on another rampage. I'm going to be here for it whenever that happens. Whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, 5 years from now, I don't care. I mean, well, I kind of care, but I'm going to be here is the point, and I'm going to be super patient. I'm just as patient as the first day I ever invested in XRP. But, waiting for the move up, that's kind of risky. I know some people do this stuff and they play games like this. I'm like, geez, you're going to get cute with your portfolio like that? You sure that's the best move? So XRP starts going up and then you chase it real quick? Okay, well, I don't think that makes any damn sense. I think what makes sense for average people like myself, I'm just an average dude, you dollar cost average in if you want a position, and then you wait. You don't go chasing stuff. Timing the market like that, it's a fool's errand, man. I'm telling you. Here's a post from chart analyst Javon Marks. XRP, in its 2017 breakout structure, not only surged to its measured move target, but also well above. With an almost exact structure replication and breakout happening, XRP can be en route to its measured move target above $16.50, which may result in a more than 663% run from here, and relating highly to 2017 structure. We could see those levels broken well above. Yeah, I just don't think XRP is going to do markedly different things compared to previous cycles. Historically, you get one big move to the upside, you consolidate sideways, and then you get another one. And this only might seem different because of how long the cycle's taking, but this is an elongated cycle. So if we have to wait a little bit longer, because normally you just wait 6 months, but we're over a year now, so be it. We got a big jump, then we mostly been moving sideways. It was nice to see some all-time highs along the way, but we didn't get that second pump yet. But we also haven't had alt season. Historically, it happens when you have alt season. So we're still waiting, but I won't be surprised at all if this looks, in that sense, if this ends up playing out, in that sense, a lot like 2017, I will not be surprised. Here's a post from chart analyst Steph is crypto. It says, XRP is at a key moment now. In 2024, XRP broke below the 3-day Gaussian channel, reclaimed it, and held. That acceptance marked the start of a major upside reversal. In 2022, during the bear market, XRP also pushed back into the channel but failed to hold it, and a sharp downturn followed. Now, in 2026, XRP is once again testing the Gaussian channel. This is the same decision point. Acceptance back into the channel has historically led to continuation, while rejection has signaled failure. This is where XRP's next major trend usually gets decided. Yeah, so like I said at the outset of the video, lots of analysts are saying this is it's kind of a critical moment in terms of what's going to happen in the short term, at least. So we'll see if it reclaims and rocks to the upside. It's certainly possible, but even if it doesn't, still not the end of the world. Here's a post from Dark Defender. XRP has been quietly outperforming Bitcoin since March 2024. This is an XRP BTC chart on your screen here. He says, on the 6-month XRP BTC chart, momentum is clearly shifting. Structure favors continuation, not a one-off move. 2026 could mark a major expansion phase for XRP relative to Bitcoin. Rising pair equals rising XRP. Smart money watches ratios. Yeah, so I buy into that. We have not seen a new all-time high for XRP priced against Bitcoin since the first half of 2017. And I think it's ridiculous, the idea that we're just never going to have one ever again. That's absurd to me. We're just waiting for that part, and we're waiting for that price discovery against the dollar, where we finally have that face-melting price action. Like, the idea it's never going to come, though. It's just completely absurd to me. XRP is an early winner in the crypto space. It's so obvious, and the fundamentals have never been stronger. All we have to do is nothing. We literally are getting paid to do nothing. We just have to wait. Period. There's also this post from John Bollinger, creator of Bollinger Bands Metric. And he wrote, my previous post about the base squeeze and breakout in Bitcoin, someone asked me about Ethereum, same pattern, a bit delayed, following, not leading, and XRP, strong lift, but the pattern is weaker. So Bitcoin, looks like Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, I guess is what he's trying to say now. So I guess he's more optimistic for Bitcoin in the short term, But he's saying the same positive chart formation that he sees, and I'm not getting into the specifics of it for this video. He sees that also in XRP, so XRP will rise with the rest of the market effectively is what he's getting at here. So I still think the best is yet ahead. You guys can tell me what you think here, but XRP at $2.07 as I'm wrapping up the video. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea.